Hi, Cancerians. This is your reading for January. Also great if you're ruled by the moon, all Cancer placements or fourth house placements. If you're cross watching or you just feel called, or for some reason you like shenanigans, this reading is for you. We're going to look into the energies surrounding you both in January and kind of leading into February. I'm using the double major tarot, which is a tarot deck that only contains court cards and major arcana, but two versions of each. It's very interesting. Your card came out Cancer right away, but in the alternative version. So we'll get into that in a minute. Today we had a conjunction between the moon and Mars. And of course, the sun also all in Capricorn. So depending if you have Cancer in the lower degrees, Mars is at 4 degrees right now. The moon has been traveling through Capricorn today. And of course, the sun is at 20 degrees. So Cancerians have some oppositions going on in their chart, as well as a trine going on between the collective MC and Neptune are in a conjunction. So wherever you have 25 degrees of any water sign, actually, there's that going on. So, been quite a lot of energy today. Let's see what else we have. Let's take another. One more for Cancerians. This was already interesting. We have a lot of alternatives that came out. Only one card is the traditional version of it, and it's in reverse. So I usually don't pick up this deck for Cancer, but or sometimes I only pick it up for clarifying. But, when I feel called, and I have to trust that. I'm always telling everybody else to trust themselves. And I have this kind of like weird 50 Shades of Gray, but a little romantic thing going for my water signs today. Okay, so the first card we have out is the Chariot, and this is I'm just holding the card here because when I do that, then everything disappears. So we have, get up close. We have the Chariot, but what if the Chariot's not moving? What if what if it feels like it's at a full stop? What if it feels hopeless about the distance between you and somebody? And what if it feels like guides aren't moving, like nothing is moving, and like no matter what you're trying or what you're asking for, things just could feel stuck, and intuitively they're not supposed to be. So this form of the Chariot denotes frustration at possible distance between you and another. And that can absolutely either be emotional distance, geographical distance. It could be both. But there's a lot of frustration in that card. And I find it interesting. And that's why I always call this Astro Tarot. Today with the sun, and I talk about this all the time in my lives. And I think I talked about it in Gemini's reading. But, when there are placements in your opposite sign or placements that are in opposition to yours, but especially if your sun sign, you're kind of for really personal sun, moon, Mars, Venus, 5 Mercury, really. But if you have multiple placements in opposition, so right now we have the sun in Capricorn, and we had Mars moon today in conjunction across. I know that was hitting my stuff, right? I mean, and it was completely uneventful, but it's still, you still feel the energies, and it can feel like frustration, and it can feel like is everything stopping right now, or is there a pause that am I being handed the opportunity, the astrological and energetic opportunity of a pause to rethink how I thought I was supposed to proceed? Which checks? If in the last couple of days before or after this reading, however it works, just when you find it, something that you thought that you wanted, that you thought that you would race towards, that you thought you would take that chariot and go hard, all of a sudden you're having doubts, hesitations, and those are coming from things that were supposed to happen not happening. Frustrations, hesitations out of frustrations, really. I think at first it might have felt like universe was putting up the roadblocks, and now it's like, well, maybe there's a reason for that. Possibly having, this is a major arcana, so possibly having a change of heart about the direction you thought you were headed. We have the King of Wands, and I found it funny. These two kind of came out. This one wanted to come out when this one came out. It came out halfway and showed itself, but kind of flipped back in the deck. So I put it in the deck because I have this theory that if a card is supposed to come out, your guides will make it come out. So we have the King of Wands, but this King of Wands is not sitting upright. He's a little deflated, especially for the King of Wands, right? So as we're looking here, we have, why isn't your chariot moving? What is the frustration? What is the holdup? And then we see that there is a King of Wands here who has kind of lost a little of their vim and their vigor and their mojo. This could possibly have to do with your holdup, whether it's another person or you. I don't feel like it's you though. I feel like it's another person that is having issues with their own mojo, their own usual sense of passion. I feel like this is a passionate person feeling impassionate. Maybe there's a holdup because there's like no point in barreling you straight ahead at, 200 miles per hour at someone who's not ready to receive it. Timing has been coming up a lot. I mean, a lot in the readings. And I feel like this is also that. Then we have a Page of Wands in reverse. Page of Wands. I mean, it's information, especially when it's in reverse. It's a message. I think the reverse is coming in backwards. I think the message that you're receiving is that we have uninterested parties. And I don't want to gas anybody up or have you chasing a ghost, but I don't think the information or the assumption, because a lot of times the information that we receive through a page, it's a small amount of information, right? It's a less mature way of delivering the information. And if it's upside down here, we're talking about information that we feel from our gut, from those solar plexus. And sometimes if our ego is a little bruised or we're in assumption mode, right? This could be about wrong assumptions about I feel like this King of Wands is not deflated at the thought of you. And again, this is genderless. It's just that they have their own thing going on. They need to get their groove back. And again, there's no sense in you seeming full. And I think that part of your hesitation is assuming that, what am I doing? Why would I be going full steam ahead at something that isn't receptive towards me, whether it's a person, a relationship, a job, whatever it is, a living situation I'm hearing for some people. Then again, your sign coming up with the Queen of Cups, right? Now, what's interesting is this Queen of Cups, instead of just sitting quietly, is dancing, rejoicing. This is the alternate version of the Queen of Cups. Trying to get in closer here. I really wish I didn't have to put my whole face for you to see the card better. And then of course it has that glare. So the Queen of Cups is a more mature energy than a knight or a page, right? And she's usually a little bit more reserved. It's not. I know you're all waiting for like those things to move out of Capricorn. And probably the Mercury in Capricorn that was in retrograde probably wasn't helpful. If I was just going to take these 4 cards and read it as a story, as a 3-sentence story, I would say you're thinking, I'm good enough for both of us. I'm tired of being like stuck in this universe traffic. And, you know, I have enough vim and vigor and mojo for both of us. The Cancerian thing to want to be like, let me love you out of your slump. It feels like you want to reach out because what you're assuming is this person maybe doesn't feel good or they don't feel wanted. And maybe you've been, you know, if you've been on that chariot journey, you've been letting universe take you where it wants to take you instead of trying to manipulate the journey. You know, Cancerians sometimes have had experiences early on when they could get what they want by putting emotions on the table. And each sign has its own like masterclass energy, right? And I've always said with Cancerian, it's the masterclass of letting go of attachments. You know, sometimes the attachment style of a Cancerian can be problematic, mostly to themselves. Self-sabotage kind of stuff. The other thing that's a masterclass for Cancerians, and usually a lesson that's learned really early, unless there's some other factors going, is that when they are younger, they may sometimes learn that you get what you want out of being emotional. Maybe not at the first tier, maybe not at the first confession, maybe not, but eventually sympathy or trauma bonding can get you what you want. Those things never last. And all Cancerians learn that. I'm going to say by their 20s, they learn that those ill-gotten returned emotions from people that are temporary out of sympathy or whatever else, they are just that. They are temporary. And it feels like walking on eggshells while you're trying to hold that energy. Like it's easy to get an A, it's harder to keep an A. And it's very much that energy of like, you may, I don't even think it's easy to get that, elicit that from somebody, but keeping anyone or anything someplace because of guilt is terrible. I want to say something, but it'll take us a left turn at Albuquerque. But I will just say that I'm feeling for some people, you may be in a situation where there may have been a third party, and whether that third party was good for the other person or not, it was still third party. And no one can help their feelings, right? That's why, like, if you feel feelings for another person, the right thing to do is get out of the situation so no one becomes voluntary or involuntarily a third party, that no one gets in that situation would be a better, great solution. Unless everybody's honest and everybody knows. Then you like it, I love it, whatever. Do whatever makes you happy, as long as everyone's in the know and consenting. There may have been a situation where there was a third party and the third party wasn't you, but the rejection, the feeling like somebody got picked over you, and that, and guilt for the person who's brought that third party into your relationship has kept this is just for a few people, but something may have been kept alive that it's just not been right for a while. And if you've been trying to go full steam ahead with this relationship, with this situation, it could even be a work situation. It could even be, you got into an argument or something bigger with a coworker or somebody you were competing for a position for, or vying for that promotion or the apple of the boss's eye. So promotion could eventually be there, and it's getting exhausting. I feel like we have two sets of people here. We have people trying to keep something alive. It's not in your best interest. And for others, you're going off an assumption that the reason that this person is, everything is at a dead stop and this person is not themselves, not full of their normal passion, and not full of their normal passion for you or the shared situation. I think there's a wrong assumption. And you're thinking about running in with all of that overflow of enthusiastic Cancerian love to come fix it. Let's get some clarification on here. Let me use this deck to clarify. Let's clarify the Page of Wands. Well, you'll come back out if you want to. Twice. Let's get some clarification on the Page of Wands. What is going on with that assumption? Okay. I feel like this is just confirmation for what I was saying. We have the Seven of Wands here. This is the sign of the Advocate. This is a sign of like protecting something out of a sense of duty for somebody that cannot protect themselves. I feel like the Nine of Wands is more like, these are my boundaries. Fuck around and find out. I feel like the Seven of Wands is very much a sense of advocacy for what you at this time believe is a worthy cause. And it very well may be. You want to protect this person's self-esteem, whether that's yours or it belongs to the other person, where you're like, why are we at a dead stop here? Let's fix this. And let's get some clarification on that Queen of Cups. Is that enthusiasm? I almost just want a yes or no. Either this less reserved Queen of Cups is just going to go take her cups elsewhere, or she's going to run back. The first hit I got was that you want to be like, I got enough love for both of us. Right, Cancers? Because I know you do. I got enough love for all of us. Okay. Bring the kids. All right, let's Judgment, past, present, future. This just feels like somebody who has learned a lot of lessons and you feel like, I know I could help. I don't want to like tell you what to do, but I feel like if I give yourself access to me, I could give you this knowledge, then you can decide to do with it or not do with it what you want, but at least give me access to you. You know, it's funny because like now we're not in a major arcana only, in a major arcana for that one. It's a lot of stuck and frustrated energy. If a Queen of Cups loves you, they don't care where you came from, what your bad habits were. They do not give a shit about your past. They don't. They just want to be part of the future. And it fulfills their soul to be a part or an influence or an environment where you can feel loved and happy. Could be a concern too that you're judging yourself too much and they want to show you what you look like through their eyes. You know, flip it if you have to. Okay. I wanted to clarify the King of Wands and I got the Emperor. The King of Wands is like the mini Emperor. Yeah, this is a person who, and I love this King of Wands. Okay, I love this Emperor. A lot of times I feel like the Emperor is like an ego-driven person. This is an Emperor of knowledge, of Zen, of understanding. This is an Emperor that has been through it, and their CEO energy is out of wisdom. If the Emperor is normally a fire sign, which wise, I think King of Wands is a mini Emperor. This one is almost like Saturn and a fire sign had a baby with the King of Swords. There is knowledge here. There is code. There is a code of ethics that this Emperor lives by, and it is not their ego. I think that there is something deeper going on with your person or with this person or with this holdup. And I feel like I have to say, this isn't about attraction. If you feel like, where's my King of Wands? What is the holdup? And you are making a wrong assumption that has to do with the fact that they have lost their mojo about you, that ain't it. That ain't it. I want to clarify this more. I'm kind of excited to do this extended. I've been feeling this deck, which I've been kind of ignoring. This was one of my first oracles, and it is one of my favorite oracles. My shoulder keeps disappearing. Here, maybe now it won't disappear. And so I want to pull from there. We are the Hathers, deep love, birth as a portal, and mother's milk. This is about as Cancerian as you can get. This oracle is about looking back. Gosh, I want to give you all a little foray into epigenetics. Look back and see what you might carry, not just from what your early environment was like, but as an overcorrection of what you think the past generations did incorrectly. So if it was so funny because this is a conversation today with one of my clients. If you came from that, like you're being bad, instead of like, I love you so much, I'm not a fan of that behavior, and so you've been overly welcoming of people's Bad behaviors, if you allow, like what you allow will continue. Um, you have to look at how much you're overcorrecting because you didn't enjoy the way that something was said to you, or how you were raised, or what that lineage looks like. I want you to really take a hard look at um what you don't need to overcorrect anymore. We all get to this place in our life where we realize the things that we need to keep us safe, we've kind of outgrown. We built the internal safety, we built the internal stability. And so we no longer need those environmental things or behaviors to keep us safe. We've learned how to do that more internally, spiritually, rephrasing our thoughts, all of that. Letting go unhealthy attachment styles. I want you to just examine that, because that might have something to do with, there's a lot of connection here. There's a lot of love here. Sometimes the connection and the love we feel is so strong, especially if you're a water sign, especially if you're intuitive, especially if you have gifts. You feel so correctly that love and that connection on the 5D. You cannot try to pour a bunch of unconditional love on somebody's 3D self that isn't in the same place that their 5D self is. I can clarify that more in the extended. The extended readings are for members. If you're interested in any of that, that's all in the box below. You're on YouTube. You know how that works. I love you. Now you love you, Cancer. By the way, you guys are in a scrap with Leo for my most watched viewers now. The Leo came and usurped your highest rank of, not highest rank, you all rank the same. I love you all. But they took the most viewed spot. So do with that information with what you will. I'll see you soon. Bye.